Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to take the time to get Bootstrap so that we'll have the files that we need in order to build Bootstrap-enabled websites. So the first thing we want to do is browse to getbootstrap.com, where you'll see the Bootstrap already in use on this page. And essentially this gives us the ability to download the latest version, which at the time of this recording is version 3.1.1. So just go ahead and get the latest version by clicking on the Download Bootstrap, and you'll see that when you do that, you'll get the Bootstrap distribution downloaded to your machine. Now this is going to be machine agnostic, so if you're not using Windows, you'll need to, of course, do the next steps in a way that makes sense for your system. And don't worry, because the Bootstrap system is going to be running on HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. And because of that, we'll be able to run it through any browser. So as long as you can use a browser on your machine and some sort of editor, you'll have no problem doing any of these activities. Once we get it downloaded, go ahead and extract the zip file so that you can get the files that we'll actually need to build the system, which will be in the Bootstrap whatever version, which is 3.1.1 distribution at this time. And inside of there, what you'll see is there are three folders that essentially house the main files that we'll need when we're building our pages. First of all, we have our cascading style sheets, or CSS. We have the Bootstrap and the Bootstrap-theme. Now you'll also note that there is a .minified version of each. And if you're not familiar with this, a .minified version is simply a concise compiled version of the same code that's in the other one that doesn't have the .min. So you really only need one on your page. But when we go into production, we want to use the most concise version, .min, so that our pages will load more quickly. Therefore, when we're developing, we often use the regular version, Bootstrap, and when we move to production, we would use bootstrap.min just to simply save that load time. You'll see the same thing in JavaScript. If we look at the JavaScript, you'll see there's a Bootstrap and a Bootstrap.minified, or min.js. So they're all there that we need, and you can actually get these files off of a content delivery network as well, a CDN. It actually shows you what you can put these directly from a content delivery network. Now that gives us the ability to have precompiled code. It actually is just a little bit more quick than even having the file on our own machine. So you could reference them this way, but we'll go ahead and have the files. Once we have all those files extracted then, there's one more folder that I didn't look at, which is fonts. And in the fonts, what you'll find are the glyph icons. Now glyph icons are just another thing that has been built and included with Bootstrap to allow us to use some fancy looking icons in certain situations, should we choose to do so. So let's go ahead and take that folder that contains our files, and we'll just go ahead and make a copy of it, or cut it, or delete it, but you need to make a copy of it, and bring it over to a directory where you can store your projects. So what I often do is I start out on my root drive, my C drive, and I create a folder for the specific type of projects I'm working on. So you can see here I have C#.net, Backbone, I have some Java projects, some different things that I do on HTML projects, which if you took my HTML course, you're familiar with that as well. So what we'll do here is we'll just make a new folder for Bootstrap. And of course you can do this however it makes sense to you. Basically you just need to be able to find these files when you go to work with them. So whatever makes the most sense to you, however you want to do that, go ahead and set up your files. And let's paste that distribution in here so that we have them available for us, so that when we set up our default later in this section, we'll be ready to go with these files. That wraps up our look at getting Bootstrap. We're already downloaded and set up with the Bootstrap files. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.